So you have decided and you have declared what you want. So why hasn't anything changed yet? Because look, let's not pretend that just because you said it out loud and doesn't mean that your brain is now on board with what you said. Your brain is wired for safety. It's not wired for expansion. So now that you are stuck in this space where you're declaring something your system doesn't recognize. And this is where most people get it wrong because they now stop at the declaring instead of the demonstrating. So let's talk about that in today's video. And because we've decided what we want, you've chosen what it is, you declared it, you're saying it. Now let's get to demonstrate it. Let's start living it. Because most people just stop at the declaration. And the truth is, you know what, let's not just pretend that the brain's on board. The brain is wired for safety. And when you're now bringing this new identity to self, it sees it as threat. It's like a resistance to it. It doesn't get it. So now there is this gap we get to name because you have declared it, but your system, yeah, the unconscious mind, everything is still operating on the old version. So thinking versus being. And then we're saying it versus like we're holding it. And knowing versus moving. So remember when like yesterday I talked about how I saw Michael Jackson's interview about him doing his final tour here, and I just thought, okay, you know what? Okay, this is it for me too. Like, I'm going to be that interpreter. I'm doing this now because I can't keep living like this. Like, I wanted. I'm thinking, oh no, I can't be. And so someone said I can't do it, and then this is how situation, like whatever that is. And then I said it. I said, okay, this is it. I'm going to be that interpreter. And then now declaring it, it's not just a word. Our behavior needs to change. The behavior has to change. The energy needs to flow. So when I said I was going to be that, then my brain is like, okay, yeah, how are you going to be that? You're dyslexic. How are you going to be that interpreter then? So to demonstrate, I had to then go out and look for other interpreters who are also dyslexic. Like who are they? Are they any? Am I the only one? Like, is this like a rare thing that's is out there? But I had to go looking, like demonstrating. And then when I found her, oh my goodness, there she was, glorified. And then when she said I couldn't believe it. Like you are, and you're like this, you're doing that and that. Like how? And then figuring out that it was possible. I knew that it was then possible for me. And now seeing someone there, now that I've decided that I'm going to be that, and I've now declared it, I started acting like one. I started behaving. My energy has changed. Like, oh no, we're not like, this is not who we are. This is who we're embodying. This is how we roll. So my standard now changed to like, okay, what do we get to do to start acting like someone who is this being that I want to embody? I had to then decide, what does that get to look like? So this person that I found, how is she? How does she move? Like, how is she? What's her stand like? How's it flowing? What's going on there? I had to define that demonstration for self. I had to decide what that gets to look like for me. What's this? Because demonstration is no longer acting anymore. We're not like no, we're now moving like we're already, what we want is already ours. I am that interpreter now. So I get to start moving like that. I get to start acting in that way. Because before I was hoping and waiting and testing and thinking like, okay, maybe. But afterwards, when I decided and I started moving, now I'm embodying it. I'm now being in that feeling, and this is who I am. So I stopped trying to become like how I was before, thinking, oh, maybe it'd be nice if I was, I would like to be. No, I started being that. I started acting like that, you know? And this is where the work actually begins because I've decided, right? And I have declared it. To demonstrate it now requires work. And it requires the anchoring. Every time something works in my foot, every time something flows, I anchor it in like I did that. Okay. We went through that. I understood what it spelled out. I got what they said. Like started anchoring it. And then obviously the brain is like reading Nene. Are we sure this is what we're doing? Like for real? For real? I had to start redirecting my thoughts. So this is another thing, another skill that I had to like start developing. What do I get to do to start like letting it go? Because our brain is running on the beliefs of what we thought about yesterday, the day before. It's just on repeat. So if those thoughts are just kind of like wanting to conserve the energy, and then we're now saying that we want to be something else, we want to add this to our life, or we want to do this, our brain's gonna be like, People like us don't do that. Like, are you sure? They said you were not, you couldn't. So why you so all these things is happening in the head. It's now having tools that would help redirect those thoughts. What are the things that we get to do to now stop those thoughts from happening? How do we then start showing up? I started moving differently. I started acting. How does that look like? Before I would scan and be like, as if, like in and out. I'm in, I'm out. How do I then move into spaces, into anchoring? What can I do? Is there a technique to like get myself in state? Maybe using like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, like let's go. Shifting the state, using movement, like breathing, like whatever that is, finding ways that will support the thing that I want to do, that will help to shift the state. Because this is how I then start demonstrating the desire. This is how we then start becoming aligned to that which we desire. Because deciding and declaring is fine. But now we get to have to start demonstrating that this is who we say we're going to be from now on. We need to start showing that. Because this is the thing. What we're doing now is we're not convincing ourselves that, okay, this is who we're being. I'm going to be that. No, we are conditioning ourselves now. Because, whatever how old you are, you've learned so much that like you've heard so many no's in your life, or you heard like, no, you can't do that. Oh no, you're too stupid. You're not enough, like this, like blah, 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 that, all those things. We get to recondition and rewire new pathways, new beliefs, new identity for self on how we then to start demonstrating our the thing that we're wanting, right? And this is what I really want us to understand. If you're still asking yourself something like, oh, is this thing for me? Is it yours? Is it mine? No. Your actions, then what in that sense, you're still negotiating. Or maybe, well, no, you're negotiating. You haven't embodied, you haven't truly aligned to that. This is what I want. And working your way to getting it. You're negotiating it. This is where we now have to now do the practical shift, the work that is required to get us to now start thinking different, to start moving different, to start being that which we want. Because things are going to happen. And let's talk about what demonstration really looks like. How do you speak to yourself? How do you actually speak, like show up? What you go for, what you're doing, like all those things. How do you show up daily? Do you go into spaces thinking like, oh no, okay, no eye contact, or don't choose me, don't whatever? Or do you go there and feel like, okay, I'm here to do this, and you make a mistake, you own the mistake. I know that it's nothing, it was just in a moment. I'd like, yeah, course correct. What do we get to do next time to make sure we do that better? Like changing that and then think, oh my gosh, Nene, you're so good. Oh, so dumb. Like everybody else gets it, you don't get it. Like, what's the like? No, we're not about that anymore. We're about giving ourselves grace and understanding that what we're doing, because we're now focusing on this, and this is where our mind and everything is on, we will get back to that. We would now align to that being, and we start showing up daily as the thing we say we want to be for self. We start reinforcing the identity of which you want. So I saw this person and I saw, okay, for me, how I want to show up as is I want to be like this. I want to walk in feeling this way. I want to be so like listen it all out. And then every day I start showing up like that person I said I want to be. All right. I start doing that. And then what tends to happen is your body believes what you rehearsed. Because you're now showing up like that, you're now believing that, and things are not working, you start acting in alignment and you start showing up in that way going forward. Because that's what you're rehearsing. And remember, we're rehearsing and collecting evidence every single time and what went well. Every time we leave the job, we don't go, oh no, gosh, man, did you see how they were like, I'm so glad that's over. No, we go like, my goodness, even if it's a worse job, I always say like, man, I survived that. Like, come on now, like, yes, at least, yes. Okay. She came with some energy, but I like, it's all good. I didn't have to match it. I just stood in my own. I'm not here to like perform, whatever that is. We start doing the thing, our body starts believing it. And we start conditioning ourselves. Because it's so funny when I tell people that I used to be such an extremely shy introvert. People are like, you woo, wow. Like, yes, I still like my own time. Like, give me my space. I am like, yeah. But when you put me in a room of things that I love to talk about, I am like a chatterbox. Like, let's go. Like, sign me up. What we da, 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 da. It's understanding and knowing that what you wish, what you're wanting is yours. Because what's happening is when you declare it, it activates it, right? We're saying this is what we want. We're doing the thing that this is it. This is what we want. But when we're demonstrating, we're making it real. When we start demonstrating a thing, we're saying that's what makes it real. That's when it starts landing. That's when we start really showing up and we start anchoring in ourselves. Because you have declared it and your system is rejecting it. And we get to start showcasing it by truly aligning and doing the work, finding the tools, finding the things that is going to support the demonstration. Because this is where a lot of people get caught up and like, oh my goodness, oh no, I give up. Uh, I can't. Because the demonstration now really starts bringing up those, like, do you truly believe yourself? Like, what are those limiting beliefs you have about self? Are you certain that this is what you truly want? And then that uncertainty starts showing up. Or you now start having that self-loathing of self, like, oh gosh, I don't look the part. I am not this is not like whatever that is. Then, we start acting and being stuff, you know? Are you still asking for permission? Because this is a time to like just know that this is not you because you have declared it. We've demonstrated, like we decided it right first, and we declared. We're demonstrating it. So you're rehearsing, if you're rehearsing doubt, then you need a better identity to then support the brain because the brain will protect whatever old you is until we start activating the new beliefs, the new self, the new thing that we're wanting to work for self and start aligning it. Does the brain now start agreeing and following with what we want? So yeah, we get to go demonstrate our desires. We get to go and demonstrate the things that we want for ourselves to start showing up fully prepared, anchored in that which you want. And I've got something exciting that's coming up just to start helping us with that demonstration, the declaration bit and the demonstration, because that's where the key thing is, and that's where we truly get to show up for self. So let's stop asking and start demonstrating. Excuse me, I had a choke up there. So maybe, excuse me, this is one of my kitties' coffee cups later. So now, maybe the issue isn't you don't know what to do. maybe is that you haven't demonstrated it yet. So decide what it is that you want for self, declare it, and now demonstrate it. I am Nene. We do this every single day. Remember that your voice matters and it's your time to use it. See you tomorrow. Bye for now.